I will give my second name here, and it's my turn to move over to the offensive side of the ball. And this is a little different than my first pick because this is a younger player, and I think the Browns could actually explore a longer-term deal with this guy. And I'm talking about a guy who's going to come in here to be a backup, not to be a starter or a main contributor. But this is tight end Jonnu Smith from the Atlanta Falcons. He is set to be a $9 million cap hit to the Atlanta Falcons this season. They can cut or trade him and save $6.5 million. That's a lot of money allocated to your number 2 tight end because they have Kyle Pitts. And another contributing reason why I really think Jonnu Smith is going to get cut or traded by the Falcons. In 2023, the Atlanta Falcons ran 2 tight end sets at the highest rate in the entire league. They fired all their coaches. They brought in new offensive coordinator, Zach Robinson from the Rams. And in 2023, Los Angeles deployed 2 tight end sets at the lowest rate in 2023. So it's unlikely that they're going to be paying high dollar to a second tight end when they're really not going to use him a whole lot based on the offensive philosophy that Zach Robinson is most likely bringing, over to Atlanta. Now, Jonnu Smith, like I said, younger, 28 years old. He signed a 4-year, $50 million deal with the Patriots back in 2021, and then he got traded to the Falcons prior to the 23 season. And even on that Falcons roster last season, the passing offense was abysmal, bad quarterback play, all that kind of stuff. Jonnu Smith still had a career high in receiving yards, 582 yards on that piss-poor passing offense. Pretty impressive, honestly, especially whenever he wasn't necessarily the number 1 tight end on the offense anyway. So to be able to rack up that kind of yardage was pretty cool. He's only got 4 touchdowns over his last 3 seasons, but you got to remember those were being played with a rookie Mac Jones and then a sophomore still looking like a rookie Mac Jones and Desmond Ridder. So not exactly great quarterback play. He ended up being a bigger part of the passing game in Atlanta than a lot of people expected, and I think that's because of his skill set. I think he's just too good not to have out there more often than not. He had that career year, like I said, still playing that tight end 2 role, and I would love to see him keep that tight end 2 role behind a guy like David Njoku. Jonnu Smith is 6'3", 250, good speed, catching skills, a huge upgrade over what we were seeing with Harrison Bryant, and this would also allow the Browns to probably move on from Jordan Akins, who's set to make $2 million, or he could be $2 million freed up if they were to move on from him. This offseason, he didn't do anything. He had a career low in everything with the Browns last year, so I don't know if he's even on the team in 24. And I could honestly see the Browns doing something with Jonnu Smith, like a 3-year deal, maybe a total of $30 million with something like $18 million guaranteed. I'm just spitballing here, but something similar to his last contract he got with the Patriots, just on a smaller scale because he's older now. And yes, we are definitely signing you to be our backup, but I would love to see Jonnu Smith on the Browns passing offense in 2024.
Yeah, it looks good to me. I mean, his pass blocking looks good. I'm just pulled them up right now. I think the seasons that he played with Tannehill was the best. It was in 2022 and 2019. He had a great rating across the board, and now it looks like he got the receiving yards up, and his speed is very intriguing for me at the number 2 option. I love that. It sounds like a guy that can move between the 20s and get you some first downs, and like the blocking's there. Sign me up. That's a great addition if we can if that happens.
Right. And we've been talking a lot about the wide receiver room and how there's just not a whole lot to talk about with what the Browns have under contract currently, aside from Amari Cooper. Elijah Moore is still, I think, a nice player with upside and potential, but we've got to see it. He did okay. Did you know that Elijah Moore played more snaps on the outside than he did in the slot?
Yeah. That's unreal to me.
It is. They were playing him out of position. So I know we've got some guys we're going to talk about coming up to kind of help Elijah Moore get back into the slot. But a guy like Jonnu Smith can come in and fill another pass catching role that the Browns desperately need, especially when you're talking about potentially drafting a tight end, bringing in somebody else. It's like it takes a long time for tight ends to develop in the NFL typically. And, we saw David Njoku. It took him 7 years or whatever to really break out and show what he was capable of. We just watched 4 years of Harrison Bryant turn into pretty much nothing. So taking a tight end in the draft is always a crap. Taking any player in the draft is a crapshoot, but a tight end especially because it's just so hard for them to adapt to the NFL game. Here's a guy who's could be readily available to come in day one and make an impact. And that's what I'm looking for.